HTML5 is a core technology markup language for creating websites and web apps. HTML5 is the newest version of the HTML language, which as of December 2012, it is candidate recommendation. HTML5 brings many new features and APIs, including incredible compatibility and performance, especially on mobile devices. Currently, HTML5 is compatible with over 1 billion mobile devices in the world. Yes, with the B, billion. HTML5 brings all those features that HTML4 didn't have, and because of that, developers had to use Flash and Auto plugins to achieve those features in HTML. The one problem with Flash was the request of plugin, and that plugin used a lot of memory. But now things have changed, and we have HTML5. New APIs introduced in HTML5 are semantic elements like header, footer, section, article, aside, menu, and so on. And by their name, you can see what they are made for. HTML5 also brings new syntactic features, and one of them are video, audio, and canvas, and as well the integration of SVG content. So you may ask yourself, what are these? Well, thanks to the audio and the video element, you can play audio and video files directly from the browser without installing Flash and Auto plugins. So no more out of memory and crashes on web browsers and the Flash plugin. The next new API we've mentioned was the canvas element. The canvas element brings 2D graphics to the web. Yes, with this element you can draw directly on the web and build your favorite HTML5 game with incredible performance. So you don't have to use Flash to build games. Now you can do it with pure HTML5. While mentioning 2D graphics, I want to mention the SVG support. SVG stands for Scalable Vector Graphics. SVG is a new graphic format which brings better quality to images. Images created using this format, they never lose quality, no matter how much you zoom in or zoom out the image. There are special softwares that you can use for creating SVG files, known as vector graphic editors. And one of the best is free and open source, known as Inkscape. Another cool thing to mention about SVG is that they are text editable. Yes, if you open the file with text editor, you will see bunch of codes, especially numbers. This format is called XML, and it is something similar to HTML. Auto features in HTML5 are offline web applications which caches the web app after the first visiting, and later on it can be accessed offline. Then document editing, drag and drop feature which allows you to drag and drop HTML elements. So with this cool feature, you can easily make those applications where just with drag and drop feature you can build sites or something similar, also known as prototypers. Then we have web storage, where you can cache some data in the web browser, also known as local storage, and access it later. And file API, where you can manipulate with files directly from the browser without any plugin. So you can create a file, edit a file, delete it, move it, and so on. And lastly, the geolocation API, which allows you to track the user location. In HTML5, some elements and attributes are deprecated. But you don't need to worry if you're an old-timer, because the elements that are deprecated are usually those elements that style outer elements, like the big tag, the font tag, and the center tag. They were removed because they can be better handled with CSS3. With HTML5 you can build anything you want. And just to point how powerful HTML5 is, thanks to one popular framework known as PhoneGap or Cordova, you can build native mobile and desktop apps and games using HTML5. That's why today many developers switch to HTML5, because HTML5 is the next big thing in cross-platform developing. Well, that's all for this lesson. In the next lesson, we'll compare HTML5 and Flash, and why HTML5 is better.